The ending of Scream 2 that you watched in theaters is a complete lie. It was a desperate, last-minute cover-up orchestrated by a panicking Hollywood studio. Months before the movie premiered in 1997, the real script leaked onto the early internet. And it contained a revelation so sickening and a betrayal so absolute that it wouldn't just have broken Sidney Prescott's mind, it would have fundamentally destroyed the entire Scream franchise. You think you know who the killers were. You think you know how Sidney survived. You don't. The real threat haunting the behind-the-scenes of this movie wasn't wearing a ghost mask. It was a hacker with a dial-up connection who forced the studio to erase a masterpiece of pure nihilistic terror. Today, we are reopening the forbidden file that Dimension Films tried to permanently bury. This is the true, deleted ending of Scream 2. To understand the magnitude of this mystery, we need to go back to the birth of the internet. Scream 2 carries an infamous title in entertainment history. It was the first major leak of Hollywood's digital age. Months before the film even came close to movie theaters, the complete script, with all the lines, kills, and plot twists, appeared out of nowhere on obscure online forums and chat rooms. The shock inside the studio was absolute. They were dealing with the sequel to the most profitable horror film of the decade, and suddenly, the whole world knew the ending. The paranoia behind the scenes reached absurd levels. The production started printing the script pages on dark red paper, making it nearly impossible to read, just so the crew couldn't make clandestine copies. Actors started receiving incomplete scripts, missing the crucial last 20 pages. No one on set knew who the killer was until the moment they shot the scene. But the damage was already done. Those who managed to read the leaked document on the internet discovered that the original plan didn't just involve two ghost faces. The forbidden script revealed a brutal and systemic plot against Sidney Prescott, involving 4 different people. And this is where the story of Scream 2 takes a disturbing turn. In this erased draft, the killers weren't a sequel-obsessed film student and Billy Loomis's mother seeking revenge. The main killers were Derek, Sidney's new and seemingly perfect boyfriend, and Hallie, her roommate and best friend. Both were being coldly manipulated by Mrs. Loomis, who was orchestrating everything from the shadows. And the horror didn't stop there. In the final act of this leaked script, a bloodbath took place in the college theater. Derek and Hallie revealed their identities, mocking Sidney's trauma. But the biggest twist occurred when Cotton Wary, the man Sidney had unjustly sent to death row in the past, entered the scene. In the movie that went to theaters, Cotton becomes an unlikely hero. In the original script, his mind had been completely fractured by his years in prison. Upon seeing the carnage in the theater, he doesn't try to save Sidney. He snaps. Cotton Wary joins the chaos, killing the assassins not out of heroism, but to finally get his own personal revenge, forcing Sidney to fight the man she herself turned into a monster. Think for a moment about how this drastically alters the morality of the entire saga. If this leaked script had been filmed and released, the impact on cinema history would be devastating. In the ending we know, the betrayal Sidney suffers is painful but distant. In the original ending, the betrayal is absolute and suffocating. Sidney would discover that the 2 people who hugged her every day, who swore to protect her, were actually stabbing innocent people at night. If this cut had reached theaters, the franchise's message wouldn't be a story of empowerment. It would be a thesis of pure nihilism. It would mean that Sidney Prescott was destined to never again be able to love or trust a human being, because any hand reached out to help her would eventually be holding a knife. The internet, by leaking this disturbing script, paradoxically forced Hollywood to rewrite the story and give Sidney Prescott a drop of hope. But to this day, almost 30 years later, a ghost haunts the corridors of this film. The late director Wes Craven took a massive secret to his grave. There are two divided factions regarding this event. Some say that the leak was real, done by a disgruntled assistant, and that it ruined the brilliant and dark original plans. However, other crew members swear that that genius, devastating script was planted on the internet on purpose by the studio itself. A perfect decoy designed to trick hackers and protect the real ending. A marketing move so brilliant and twisted that it would make Ghostface himself proud. What do you think? Was this obscure script the true ending, or just the most successful smokescreen in horror history? Leave your theory in the comments. And if you want to keep unearthing the secrets studios tried to hide, subscribe to Before the Final Cut. Because sometimes the most terrifying scenes in a movie are exactly the ones you never got to watch.